Hello and welcome to Andre Knows Everything. My name is Andre Morton.
Knows everything.
That's the theme song. This is the show where I take you through the internet to learn about a specific topic in about an hour using Google. It's a very intricate system. Today, I am joined by my second guest ever. She is my lovely, lovely wife. She is the co-host of the Walt Vault podcast. Her name is Miss Michelle Morton.
Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to be here today on my husband's podcast, especially because Michelle, picked the topic.
That's right. Michelle is taking us through our second in the conspiracy series. And we are going to be looking up...
Emily with the first, me with the second.
Yes. You guys are conspiratorializing my entire podcast.
Yes, that's okay.
Today we're going to be talking about sea myths and sea creatures.
Whoa, sea myths and sea creatures. What?
Because, what is your relationship to sea creatures and sea life and mermaids and whatnot?
Let me think. Well, I like water. I tell this to everybody. I love water. I love everything ocean, all things ocean. My favorite Disney movie is The Little Mermaid, and I 110% believe in mermaids, and you can fight me on that right now. That's what we're going to fight about.
So, we're going to spend the next hour convincing Michelle that mermaids aren't actually real. But, you know, who knows? Maybe
we'll think other creatures are real after this. I don't know.
Maybe something will show us that all this is real, and you got to dive deep enough into the sea. You know what I mean? To find it. Here we go. Let's look at some sea creatures. So the first one I brought up here is the mermaid.
Yes, the most well-known sea myth, the mermaid.
Look at this hottie with the body right here. Half a human body.
It's questionable if that's a hottie.
Her tail is... Oh no, what have I done? Her tail is wrapped all the way around her.
Yeah,
and she's got
that's not what I envisioned a mermaid to look like,
there.
But
okay. All right. Anyway, the mermaid in folklore is an aquatic creature with the head and upper body of a female human and the tail of a fish. Mermaids appear in the folklore of many cultures worldwide, including the Near East, Europe, Asia, and Africa. In ancient Assyria, the goddess Atargatis transformed herself into a mermaid out of shame for accidentally killing her human lover. Mermaids are sometimes associated with perilous events such as floods, storms, shipwrecks, and drownings. In other folk traditions, or sometimes within the same tradition, they can be benevolent or beneficent, bestowing boons or falling in love with humans.
Yeah, so I feel like they're either portrayed as good or completely evil. Like, I don't really see any in between. Like, for example, mermaids on Harry Potter or whatever. Right. Terrifying.
Yeah, they're creepy.
Terrifying. Mermaids in Disney, nice. Real pretty.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Animated,
like, I feel like
nicely.
There's no in between. But what I know mainly as mermaids is that they were known for seducing seamen on ships with their voices and then killing them.
Nice.
Love it.
Hot. Stay like, ah, ah, and those dudes are like, whoa, my dick is hard. And then
basically, and then they get eaten.
Yeah, and then they get eaten. No, the mermaids eat the men?
They drown them.
They drown them.
But I think but
not to eat.
Well, I don't know. I guess that's never really been clarified.
Okay.
Did they eat them? Did they just drown them? And they're like, that was fun.
In your imagination of these being real creature being people, what do they look like? Do they look like the Disney versions? They wear shisha bras and stuff over their titties?
No.
What do they look like?
I don't think they wear bras.
Oh, okay. They're just free the nipple?
Yeah,
#free the nipple.
I don't think they wear bras. I think they're just free.
That makes sense.
Okay, but we'll talk about this. The reason I always like to believe in the unbelievable. I like mermaids, therefore I'm like, yeah, they're totally real. But when I was in high school, the Animal Planet came out with a mermaid documentary, and it was very highly convincing to me. So that documentary is why I believe that mermaids are real and that the government is hiding them from us. And also, mermaids don't want to be found. They're way down deep in the sea. They're not, like, at the surface. Like,
so they're in, like, Mariana's Trench type levels.
They're up in Atlantis, like, way down there. They're just, like, minding their own business.
But don't you
They're not
think-
stupid. The human world's a mess. Okay, they ain't coming up here.
But don't you think that
No
there's
mo.
some kind of, Aquaman style retribution coming for us humans, us landlubbers up on the shores? You
No,
know, they don't think they're
I
planning
don't
an
think
uprising
so.
against
No.
the landers.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. They are very happy down
They're
there.
content down there. They
Yeah.
don't want to come up here.
They're not coming back.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is what I saw that made me be like, okay, now I fully am like, mermaids are real.
Mermaids, the body found.
Granted,
Fiction.
Oh.
2 hours.
Well, when I graduated
It
high
was-
school, I didn't know it was called docu-fiction.
Fiction.
I thought it was a documentary. They should have clarified
Now,
that.
I believe that I watched some of this this documentary. at the
17-year-old
time as
brain
well.
Michelle was like, oh, these are real.
Let's read the description real quick.
Yeah.
Mermaids, the Body Found is a science fiction program styled as a documentary, originally aired as Mermaids, the Body Found on American TV channels Animal Planet and Discovery.
Okay, I 110% didn't know it was a fiction styled as a documentary. I thought this was real. They should have been more clear with that before they let me watch it. Just like how I thought the Blair Witch Project was also real.
It's gonna be like, warning, everything you're about to see is not real, dude.
It
Chill
probably
out.
did say that, but I probably didn't read that nor
Right.
remember that.
Right.
Like same thing with the Blair Witch Project. It was just on TV one day until the end of it. I was like, "Oh my fucking shit, this is real." And then my dad had to tell me it was a movie.
You thought you watched 2 real-ass documentaries, one about witches and one about
Wow.
mermaids. Okay.
All right.
Well-
Well, my theory just got debunked already.
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
hey, I still think they're real. Whatever.
Let me just see. The criticism for this film. Mermaids, Animal Planet has been criticized for giving the impression of being an actual documentary, when in fact much of the material was made up and the scientists were shown were actors. Publicity for the program included a website falsely claiming government seizure of the site's domain, and the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration put up a rebuttal to the program.
Okay, well, I was one of those people that thought it was real. They should have fucking made that more clear. 17-year-old brain Michelle was like, fuck yeah, mermaids are
But I
real.
mean, that's so interesting that they made this. They say that it's a fiction, but throughout the entire
I don't
thing,
think they really, said
Right.
that probably until later.
yeah, and they definitely set it up
They set it up to be real.
to fool people.
well, it
and I
worked.
wonder if that's what a lot of these urban legends, how they're set up to continue on thinking.
Because
that they're real.
I don't believe all urban sea legends. So we're going to get more into this. There's one that I 110% agree. I would say I believe in mermaids 95% of the time. There's another one that I 110% know is real because I
Okay.
know what it actually is.
Okay.
But then another one we're going to talk about I have 0% belief in.
Right. Okay.
So this one I believe mermaids are I support mermaids about 95%.
Okay. So aside.
What about you? Do you think they're real?
No, I'm not.
0%?
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
Negative 1%.
Well, when I see a mermaid, I'm not going to tell you about it then.
So this is the National Ocean Service website. The U.S. Department of Commerce. They have an article called "Are Mermaids Real?" and it says that no evidence of aquatic humanoids has ever been found.
They haven't met me.
Let's just read some
I'm
details
evidence of an aquatic humanoid.
from some scientists,
right, let's
and not
see.
Michelle. Mermaids, those half-human, half-sirens of the sea, are legendary sea creatures
Legends.
chronicled in maritime cultures since time immemorial. The ancient Greek epic poet Homer wrote of them in the Odyssey.
Yes.
In the ancient Far East, mermaids were the wives of powerful sea dragons and served as trusted messengers between their spouses and the emperors on land. The Aboriginal people of Australia called mermaids Yuck-yucks. Nice. A name that may refer to their mesmerizing songs.
Chomp chomp, then they eat you.
Yeah. The belief in mermaids may have arisen at the very dawn of our species. Magical female figures first appear in cave paintings in the late Paleolithic Stone Age.
Okay,
period,
so they were in history.
some
so they might be
30,000
real.
years ago.
Okay, maybe they were real 30,000 years ago.
When modern humans gained dominion over the land and presumably began to sail the seas, half-human creatures called chimeras. Chimeras?
Chimeras?
I I think it's chimeras, also abound in mythology. In addition to mermaids, there were wise centaurs,
Not
wild
real.
satyrs,
Not real.
and frightful minotaurs,
real.
to name but a few. But are mermaids real?
Yes.
No evidence of aquatic humanoids has ever been found. Why then do they occupy the collective unconscious of nearly all seafaring peoples? That's a question best left to historians, philosophers, and anthropologists. Oh, that's it? That's all you got?
That wasn't much. That wasn't convincing.
Yeah.
They're hiding the real information.
I really thought that there was going to be just a little bit more science to that. Wait.
So that sounds to me like scientists don't really care to investigate, but they're saying anthropologists and historians and stuff. Yes, there is mermaids on sea carvings and walls. So
Right. Somebody thought of that.
they saw one.
Or, porn was invented a lot longer ago than we think, And they were like,
No.
okay, so she's got her titties out.
They wanted to fuck
but
a
instead
fish.
of legs, she got a whole fish bottom.
No, I don't believe that.
So now I'm on the Ohio State University website. This is the Psychology of Extraordinary Beliefs. Ordinary students exploring extraordinary beliefs. This was written in March of 2018 by this dude, Van Zandt.2. Joy Pan. This is the existence of mermaids. So I don't necessarily
This
want
looks
to read
long.
all of this.
There's
I
a
think
theory.
this is like her dissertation or whatever.
Well, did she believe in them? It says yes.
This fact has led many people, from conspiracy theorists, normal people, and even scientists, to believe in the existence of mermaids. Although they may not believe there are any typical fairy tale mermaids with beautiful hair and long tails swimming around in the ocean, they do believe there is some sort of human-like creature that exists in the ocean.
Okay, I would like to read this part.
Yeah, hit it.
Great. The most important piece of evidence for this belief in mermaids is a theory called the aquatic ape theory, which essentially states that millions of years ago, the primates that preceded humans were competing for food, so some evolved to find food on land instead of trees, which is why we walk on two legs. But even then, there was much too competition, and because the earth is made up of so much water, some had to start finding food in water. Those who started hunting in the water, and eventually some of those humanoids adapted and evolved to live in the water, i.e. the mermaids. Okay, I dig this.
It says, this theory seems to be supported by many of our characteristics on our bodies. For example, we have very little body hair, which helps us swim faster. We can hold our breaths underwater longer than other land animals. We are pretty good swimmers. Our fingers shrivel up in the water, which makes it easier to grip things in water. And we seem to have a little bit of webbing in between our fingers, and some people are even born with completely webbed hands.
True.
There are been many instances in which people have put their babies in pools or water, and they instinctively know how to hold their breaths and swim. Yes, I've heard this before. While all these characteristics could support the theory, there are other explanations for them as well, so they are not concrete evidence. Dogs are also born with the ability to swim, and our fingers shriveling could just mean that in the past we had to fish with our bare hands, and it made it easier for us to grab fish. Not necessarily that we got in the water, developed the gills, started...
Evolution is crazy. We could have done that.
Evolution is very crazy.
You should do an episode on evolution.
Well, yes, but evolution is a proven theory, whereas...
Some people don't believe in that, though.
I know, those people are dummies.
But am I dumb for believing in mermaids?
I won't go that far, but I'm just saying I don't have any concrete evidence.
I don't think there's really a ton of evidence for it. I just like to believe in them because it makes me happy and feel like, hey, there's some mermaids in the world. So
Right.
if you're with me on that, you know what? Believe in whatever
Exactly.
mermaid creatures you want to believe in.
So
And when I see one, I won't disclose that information to you because you don't care.
Was there any other supporting evidence for
Not really, honestly.
for these mermaids?
It's just that it's folklore. It's folklore
Right.
that people have chosen to believe in.
Exactly. So you know what? Let's move on to another a large piece of folklore. We're gonna check out the Loch Ness Monster.
This is my 0% believe.
0% believe?
I do not believe in the Loch Ness Monster at all.
Yeah, I don't believe in the Loch Ness Monster. I mean,
Just like I don't believe in Bigfoot.
yeah,
They're like the
Bigfoot's
same
stupid
to me.
too. Right? Yeah, they're like the same level of
Of a nope.
fake.
Alright, let's get into Loch Ness.
The Loch Ness Monster. So this is on the Encyclopedia Britannica's website. So it should be some accurate information. This is the famous picture right here.
Famous picture.
Loch Ness Monster, by name Nessie, is a large marine creature believed by some people to inhabit Loch Ness, Scotland. However, much of the alleged evidence supporting its existence has been discredited, and it is widely thought that the monster is a myth.
That just looks like a... nothing.
This photograph that allegedly showed the Loch Ness Monster is from 1934. The image known as the surgeon's photograph was later revealed to be a hoax.
It looks like a hoax, even. Like, it looks like it's supposed to be like a dinosaur head. You know what I mean? But,
well,
like...
I could do that, too. It's just my little...
Yeah, like, it's not...
from afar.
It doesn't look like a
shadows.
monster to me at all.
Yeah. Reports of a monster inhabiting Loch Ness date back to ancient times. Notably, local stone carvings by the Pict depict a mysterious beast with flippers. The first written account appears in a biography of Saint Columba from 565 AD. Oh, that's really old. According to that work, the monster bit a swimmer and was prepared to attack another man when Columba intervened, ordering the beast to go back.
Okay.
And over the centuries, only occasional sightings were reported. Many of these alleged encounters seemed inspired by Scottish folklore, which abounds with mythical water creatures.
Go back.
Go back, you beast! And in 1933, the Loch Ness Monster's legend began to grow. At the time, a road adjacent to Loch Ness was finished, offering an unobstructed view of the lake. In April, a couple saw an enormous animal, which they compared to a dragon or prehistoric monster. And after it crossed their car's path, it disappeared into the water. The incident was reported in the Scottish newspaper. Hey.
Right here.
Thank you. And numerous sightings followed. In December of 1933, the Daily Mail commissioned Marmaduke Wetherell, who has a fantastic name, Marmaduke Wetherell, a big game hunter, to locate the sea serpent. Along the lake's shores, he found large footprints that he believed belonged to a very powerful, soft-footed animal about 20 feet long, or 6 meters long. Oh, wait, this dude was Scottish? That's a very powerful, soft-footed animal, about 20 feet long. That was really bad. However, upon closer inspection, zoologists at the Natural History Museum determined that the tracks were identical and made with an umbrella stand or ashtray that had a hippopotamus leg as a base. Wetherell's role in the hoax was unclear. So people go to great lengths to pretend that these things are real. Like, somebody took the time to get trash can lids and stamp in the mud, and I think it's just to rustle up drama. You know, some people love to get their 15 minutes of fame, and I think this picture in particular is a very...
It looks so fake. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's just it's nothing. And in 1933, pictures were new still. It was like, oh, okay, it must be real.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a pre-Photoshop era.
If anything, it's a distraction from reality, right? Let's talk about this monster that we thought we saw.
Right.
Versus whatever's actually going on in the world currently. Yeah.
Children missing and all the
fun
things. Stuff. Kanye running for president.
The
Loch Ness area attracted numerous monster hunters. Over the years, several sonar explorations in 1987 and 2003 were undertaken to locate the creature, but none were successful. In addition, numerous photographs allegedly showed the beast, but most were discredited as fakes or as depicting other animals or objects. Notably, in 1994, it was revealed that Wilson's photograph was a hoax spearheaded, goodness gracious, where did I go? Spearheaded by a revenge-seeking Wetherell. The monster was actually a plastic and wooden head attached to a toy submarine. In 2018, researchers conducted a DNA survey of Loch Ness to determine what organisms live in the waters. No signs of a plesiosaur or other such large animal were found, though the results indicated the presence of numerous eels. This finding left open the possibility that the monster is an oversized eel.
No.
Despite the lack of conclusive evidence, the Loch Ness Monster remained popular and profitable. In the earliest 21st century, it was thought that it contributed nearly $80 million annually to Scotland's economy.
Because people want to visit Scotland because the Loch Ness is there?
Let's go to Lake Loch Ness. Let's go try and see the Loch Ness Monster. Let's spend money while we're here. Let's do some tourism. Let's stay in a hotel. That makes
sense.
A lot of sense.
But also the fact that they're still trying to debunk this in 2018 is like...
Well, I mean, they've debunked it, and they just keep trying to find new ways to debunk it. Right? Photograph is fake. These footprints are fake. The waters don't test for any large monsters or dinosaurs.
Cool.
And maybe there's a big
maybe you
eel.
shouldn't visit that lake because there's eels in it. Like, gross. I'm not trying to go to no lake with eels.
touch eels?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so this is from June 25th, 2020. On sciencealert.com. I have no idea where what this website is about. There's a new photo circulating of the Loch Ness Monster, but guess what? Written by Michelle Starr. A new photo showing a mystery creature swimming in Loch Ness has sparked new interest in Nessie, the long-necked plesiosaur-like cryptid rumored to inhabit the loch's dark and enigmatic depths.
Okay.
There's just one big problem, and you can probably guess what it is. The image has been digitally manipulated. Now, let's go back up to this image.
Alright, let's look at the image.
Where, I mean, this doesn't look real at all.
No.
No.
If anything, I guess it looks like a fish.
Yeah. But, I mean, even then, a fish digitally sized up. It doesn't look...
Doesn't look real.
Doesn't look quite real to me. Let me see. According to an investigation conducted by the Loch Ness Mystery blog,
oh God.
the image first appeared in mid-June in a Facebook group, posted by the group's founder, Steve Carrington. It was taken, he says, when he visited Loch Ness in September of 2019.
But he didn't want to talk about it till now?
Yeah. After he was taking photographs, he claims to have spotted a ripple in the water, followed by the appearance of an aquatic creature, which he claims to have captured in one of his photos. I have to say, I don't believe in Loch Ness Monster, and frankly, I think if anything, if anything is there, then there is a logical explanation for most of the sightings. He was quoted as saying by the UK tabloid The Mirror. My guess would be that what I captured was a catfish or something like that. As it turns out, the animal picture is indeed a catfish. Okay, yeah, look at these bad boys.
Yeah, that's a very big catfish.
He's a big fish.
286-pound catfish.
Oh my goodness. Mmm, yummy.
You would never be able to eat all that.
You don't tell me what I can and can't do.
286 pounds of meat?
Uh-huh. I weigh 134 pounds, so all I'd have to do is eat 286. The fun thing about catfish is that the pigmentation patterns on their backs are unique, like a fingerprint. As eagle-eyed Twitter users have already pointed out, the pattern on the back of Carrington's creature is exactly the same as the pattern on the back of a catfish caught in Italy. Oops.
Oops.
Oopsie daisy. So, no Nessie.
Turns out, it says that he's a 3D picture artist.
Oh, is that what it said right down here? Yes, Carrington works as a 3D artist. We were unable to verify that claim, but it's pretty much moot anyway. The blog's author also ran a careful eye over images claimed by Carrington to be hot from his camera, noting the metadata tell a very different tale. Yeah, that stuff's easy to figure out.
There ain't no Loch Ness Monster, okay?
No
I don't
Loch Ness
believe
Monster.
in Nessie at all.
Do I have any other links about the Loch Ness Monster? I believe that's it. Oh wait, here we go. Here's another one from thesun.co.uk. Loch Ness Monster.
Oh.
Boffins believe they finally got video proof that Nessie exists.
What are they circling in this?
Is actually
we gotta play
a
the
giant
video.
eel.
Huh?
Oh, look at that. Wow.
Probably an eel. That looks fake.
This is the enhanced image of a giant eel-like creature that Boffins reckon could be the real Loch Ness Monster.
Fake as shit.
The video, shared online by the Ness Fishery Board, captured the outline of a long, slender creature in the Scottish Highlands Loch. Amazing footage from an underwater camera shows the serpent slithering through the water from the left and dwarfing fish in its path. All right, let's try to watch that.
Yeah, it looks like an eel.
Okay,
Okay,
we got the fish.
it's right there.
Oh, look at that big boy. Now, that doesn't look anywhere near the size of what a
No.
Loch Ness Monster would look like to me. Yeah, I get it. I see that he's going across there.
It looks like an eel.
Yeah, looks like a big eel. But it doesn't look like a monster. I mean, if this is a regular sized fish, that eel is big, but it's not that big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, there's probably just big eels.
Oh, it says it is actually a giant eel.
Right,
so,
right. Yeah, they figured it out.
eels are hella cool.
We enhanced the image, which emerged after a team of scientists claimed sightings of Nessie were actually a giant eel. Richard Freeman of the Center for Fortean Zoology, which has tried to solve the 1,000-year-old monster mystery, believes the creature in the video is an eel. He said, "I don't believe the eel theory has killed off the Loch Ness Monster. Quite the reverse. A giant eel, which can grow up to 30 feet, is a monster in every sense of the word."
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Gary Campbell, the keeper of the official Loch Ness Sightings Register, added, "We know Nessie is not a prehistoric monster. Loch Ness was a block of ice 10,000 years ago during the last ice age. Nothing would have survived. A fish or an eel was always the most plausible theory." Oh, okay, so these dudes fully believe in it, but they're just
They're
trying
saying
to
it's
find
a giant eel.
the true monster that lives in the lake. Miko Takala, 51, who's been hunting Nessie for 27 years, said the latest footage counts as an excellent sighting. Many theories have already been discounted, including that the monster could be a shark, catfish, sturgeon, or plesiosaur. Last week, experts from New Zealand suggested the monster was a giant eel after studying DNA extracted from the 23-mile-long freshwater loch in the Scottish Highlands. They took 250 samples and identified 15 species of fish and 3,000 types of bacteria. An international team of scientists that trawled the waterway was led by Professor Neil Gemmell of the University of Otago in New Zealand. He said there was a significant amount of eel DNA. Okay.
Yeah, they got big-ass eels in that lake, okay?
There's a lot of
Y'all shouldn't be visiting that lake. That's nasty.
But eels aren't super dangerous.
Ooh! Well,
the electric
moray
ones are.
eels aren't.
There we go. So, I mean, you can hang out with the eels.
Gross.
In Scotland. But that's all they got. They don't really have a real big old Loch Ness Monster there.
Nope.
Alright, let's move on to what I believe will be our last creature.
Which is one that I also believe in. This is my 110%. It's real.
This is the Kraken.
The Kraken!
Alright, a giant squid, giant octopus creature that toppled ships and boats in the heyday.
Yes.
The Kraken is a legendary cephalopod-like sea monster of gigantic size in Scandinavian folklore. According to the Norse sagas, the Kraken dwells off the coast of Norway and Greenland and terrorizes nearby sailors. Authors over the years have postulated that the legend may have originated from sightings of giant squids that may grow to 13 to 15 meters in length. That's 40 to 50 feet. The sheer size and fearsome apprentice attributed to the Kraken have made it a common ocean-dwelling monster in various fictional works. The Kraken has been the focus of many superstitious sailors passing the North Atlantic, and especially sailors from the Nordic countries due to their proximity and its Scandinavian origin. Throughout the centuries, the Kraken has been a staple part of sailors' superstitions and mythos, being heavily linked to the sailor's ability of telling a tall tale.
Now, I don't believe in this folklore Kraken.
Right.
I believe that the Kraken was definitely a giant squid. And I did an animal report on a giant squid.
Ooh.
Those things are crazy.
How big did they,
We'll look up giant squid after this. But
Yeah.
let's go into the Kraken.
Let me see. So,
This is a Kraken.
the Kraken.
The best interpretation would be from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right. Yes. That's my touchstone for the Kraken is from those Pirates movies, where it's gigantic and it's got like way more tentacles than the squid's got, and it's got a big old head and big teeth.
Yes.
Whatnot, and just.
Ooh, I like this article.
All right.
Kraken is real.
The Kraken is real from NPR.org. Scientists films first footage of a giant squid. It's from January of 2013.
Giant squids are no joke.
Yeah. Ay. For thousands of years, sailors have told stories of giant squids. In myth and cinema, the Kraken was the most terrible of sea monsters. Now it's been captured on a soon-to-be-seen video. All right, where's the video at? I don't want a soon-to-be-seen video.
You could probably... There's definitely lots of videos of giant squids now.
Yes, that's
I mean, they're deep in the ocean. That's why it's so hard. But they've also had, like, carcasses of giant squids wash up on shore and stuff lately.
Let's take a look at this video. Oh, this is from January of 2013. This is probably the one. Show me a Kraken.
Oh, this is going to be a big fat no.
This is from Discovery Channel's broadcast of Monster Squid.
Oh, that's great.
Is that it?
Yeah. Oh, no. Absolutely not.
This is awesome.
Feed on the bait. Hunger overrides its natural instinct
How
to
big is it?
feed.
Show me
Huge.
the scale.
Nothing
Now,
is
that looks
huge.
It looks gigantic there.
Once we realized that there was no way that squid was going to let go, that's when the show began.
So gross.
Okay. I kind of want to see. I want somebody to get right next to it.
They can. It would
Let's
eat
go. Here we go.
them.
This is the kind of perspective shot that I want. Holy moly. Meow.
Minutes. The closer
All right, so it might say in the description how big it was.
Oh. Let's see. It does not.
I'm sure you
it was
could.
a little more than 26 feet.
No!
Yeah, that's a big squid.
I don't like that.
That's a really big squid. Are massive squid really the sea monsters of legend? This is from BBC.com.
BBC.
BBC. Written by Melissa Hoganboom on December of 2014. In 1857, the Kraken began to move from myth to reality, thanks to the Danish naturalist Japetus Steenstrup.
Japetus Steenstrup.
Japetus. He examined a large squid beak, about 8 centimeters across, that had washed up on Denmark's shores several years earlier. Originally, he could only guess at the overall size of the animal, but soon he was sent parts of another specimen from the Bahamas. When Steenstrup finally published his findings, he concluded that the Kraken was real, and it was a species of giant squid. He named it Architeuthis dux, meaning ruling squid, in Latin.
So scary.
Only after Steenstrup had decided the creature could scientists begin... Only after Steenstrup had described the creature could scientists begin to unravel whether there was any truth to the old myths. Was this huge squid really as dangerous as the legends had led people to believe? Where did it come from, and what was it up to in the dark depths?
And why is it now just under the water and not attacking boats? You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's kind of part of that those tall tales, right? So maybe they were on a boat and you did see a giant squid on the ocean. Maybe it did bump up against the boat. Maybe it knocked somebody off and they saw it underwater or whatever.
Maybe.
But, then they get back and they're like, we saw this giant squid. It crushed a ship right in front of us. Hundreds of men died. I was the only one to have survived.
Yeah.
It was crazy, Pretty easy to embellish your stories when there was no photo or video evidence.
Very true.
The Kraken has held a grip on people's imaginations for hundreds of years. Its grasping tentacles were only part of the problem. After this monster has been on the surface of the water a short time, it begins slowly to sink again, and then the danger is as great as before, because the motion of his sinking causes such a swell in the sea and such an eddy or whirlpool that it draws everything down with it. Okay, so I always imagine a Kraken is around and there's a whirlpool going, and it's just a mess. Different cultures had different names for similar sounding monsters. Greek mythology describes the Scylla, a 6-headed sea goddess who ruled the rocks on one side of a narrow strait. Sail too close and she would try to eat you. In Homer's The Odyssey, Odysseus was forced to sail close to Scylla to avoid an even worse monster. As a result, 6 of his men were lost to Scylla, who swung them up onto her cliff and bolted them down raw.
Gross.
Oh, damn, Scylla.
Yeah, the Odyssey is crazy if you've
raw.
ever read that.
You know, I'm trying to put on no protection for these always. Even science fiction writers have got it in the act. In 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Jules Verne describes a giant squid that is distinctly Kraken-like. It could entangle a ship of 5,000 tons and bury it into the abyss of the ocean. So does the real giant squid live up to its legendary counterparts? I think this is part of that beak. Mm-hmm. Since Steenstrup's initial discovery, about 21 more species of giant squid have been described. None were from live animals, but rather from parts or occasionally whole specimens washed up on the shore. Giant squid are thought to grow through a length of 13 or even 15 meters, including their tentacles. One estimate suggested they could reach 18 meters, but that could be a serious overestimate, said John Albert of the National History Museum of London. That's because squid tissue can act like rubber in the midday sun, so when a squid washes up and dries out, it can stretch out.
Interesting.
They spend much of their time at depths of 400 to 1,000 meters.
Yeah, they're way down there.
That may be partly an attempt to stay beyond the reach of hungry sperm whales, but it's a partial success at best. The whales are perfectly capable of diving to such depths, and a giant squid is almost defenseless against them. Okay. Get up to 27 centimeters. Its eyes. These giant peepers are thought to have evolved especially to spot the whales at great distances, giving the squid time to take evasive action. So they're probably not looking up at the surface of the water and going, ooh, a boat. I better sink that bad boy.
No,
you know?
definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah. Giant squid prey upon fish, crustaceans, and smaller squid, all of which have been discovered in the stomachs of those analyzed. One giant squid even turned out to have the remains of another giant squid in its stomach, suggesting they sometimes resort to cannibalism, although it's not clear how often.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they're way down there and there's, like, nothing down
There's not
there.
really much to eat. Like, hey. I'm hungry, man, and you starting to look like a turkey leg.
Hey,
What?
what's that? You remember we were on a plane once and we watched that movie about a sea creature? What shark was that?
That was the Megalodon.
The
from
Megalodon!
The Meg. Let's take a look at that. Megalodon.
That movie was wild.
Jason Statham was beating the fuck out of that shark.
The Megalodon. That one just popped into my head.
Megalodon, meaning big tooth, is an extinct species of shark that lived approximately 23 to 3.6 million years ago.
So it actually was real.
Yes, this was a real thing. However, it is now classified into the extinct family of Orthodontidae, which diverged from the great white shark during the early Cretaceous period.
So, like, probably the great white... Well, I mean, the great white shark is, like, our biggest shark. Besides the whale shark.
Yes.
Which is different. But the Megalodon. Ooh.
While regarded as one of the largest and most powerful predators to have ever lived, Megalodon is known from fragmentary remains, and its appearance and maximum size are uncertain. Scientists differ on whether it would have more closely resembled a stockier version of the great white shark, the basking shark, or the sand tiger shark. Most estimates of Megalodon size extrapolate from teeth, with maximum length estimates up to 18 meters, and average length estimates of 10.5 meters.
Oh my gosh.
Estimates suggest their large jaws could exert a bite force of up to 110 to 180,000 newtons.
Oh no.
Which is 40,000 pounds.
Absolutely not.
Their teeth were thick and robust, built for grabbing prey and breaking bone.
Absolutely not.
So here's a model of some Megalodon jaws. American National Museum of History. Let's see. Is there any question about their extinction?
Well, and is that why they made these movies? Like, I don't think there was a question about it, right? People were just like, this is a good idea for a movie.
Yeah,
just like
I mean,
Jaws.
it's just
but
like...
let's make it the Megalodon, which is supposed to be extinct.
Yeah, it's Jurassic Park in the water, right? It's like, oh, hey, what if these old sharks were still around and humans had to deal with them?
These old sharks ain't around. Absolutely not.
Turns out not very well. But yeah, the Megalodon...
I'm sure some people believe they are.
...was not just in the Meg, but also in Shark Attack movies... Jurassic Fight Club on History Channel, and Meg, a novel of deep terror. Megalodon teeth are the state fossil of North Carolina. Okay. I kind of want to see a size comparison.
Like a Megalodon and
versus a great white shark. Oh my.
Oh no.
Heavens. Me. That's pretty big, you know? I mean, because great white sharks are pretty big, and this seems scary big.
I mean, there's real footage of great white sharks. So if you just try to, like, imagine it tripled in size.
Right, yeah.
Like, triple.
Like, really, really, really big. Way bigger. I think I've seen this image before.
Yeah. Hey, that's a human.
Hi.
Hi.
I can fit right in your stomach. Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
No, sea creatures, no.
Yeah.
What about the Megalodon versus a giant squid?
Oh, okay. Now, should I be looking on YouTube for this? Because I bet there's some sweet digital footage. Mega shark versus giant octopus. Is that what you wanted?
No, I just wanted to see them next to each other because I think they're around the same size.
Oh, nice.
They're around the same size because it was saying it could get up to 18 meters.
Right, yes.
And that's what the shark
And
said.
that's what the Megalodon
but the giant
was
squid
as well.
still exists.
Giant squid versus Megalodon.
It's real.
This is from whatpad.com. Let's find out. Okay.
A giant squid is real.
Right. And a Megalodon was real. So if they had existed at the same time,
Ooh,
maybe
ooh.
they would have had an internet
Absolutely
fight.
not.
Or an underwater fight.
Who will win?
They live in depth range from thousands of meters to perhaps as deep as 2 kilometers. But who would win? Giant squid is a max length of 18 meters.
440 pounds.
Max weight is 1 ton. The Megalodon is a max length of 16 meters, possibly up to 18 meters. Its max weight is 50 tons.
So much because it's not the same material.
Right. It's he's a meteor fish. and has a bite force of 10 to 18 tons. However, if outdated, then around 7 to 10 tons. Its diet is a whales, a seals, and some smaller sharks.
I mean, the megalodon would win, I think.
Yeah, I think he'd rip the thing to shreds. I mean, if this can't defend itself against a killer whale, why would it be able to defend itself
Or a sperm
against
whale.
a megalodon shark?
Not a killer whale, a sperm whale.
Oh, excuse me. Damn, even the sperm whales are getting it? Okay. Megalodon was diving down after a juvenile blue whale.
Wow, people on the internet are crazy.
However, something grabs the juvenile, preparing to kill it. Megalodon rams the giant squid. Giant squid then wraps herself around the megalodon. The serrated cutting edges slice through the megalodon's skin. One slices through the gills. Pissed, Megalodon bites one of the tentacles off, eating it and tasting blood. The Megalodon charges at the injured cephalopod, but out of nowhere, the ink blast, confusing the shark. Megalodon looks around, not before the giant squid attacks again. Although she lost her meal, she's not giving up. The female Megalodon suffocates due to the lack of movement. At the last second, Megalodon retreats to hunt easier prey. So this is saying that the giant squid would win with the ink blast. I recommend giant squid winning 55% of the time. Although Megalodon was more massive, it's important to remember their teeth were designed for hunting squid.
We're not
Not
designed.
designed for hunting squid, but instead whales.
Whales.
Giant squid was more intelligent and could cause some serious damage. Sperm whales have trouble fighting these guys due to their serrated edges on their tentacles.
Okay,
Okay, sure. That was an intense battle that we just read, though.
it
I
was.
think. All right. Any other mysterious creatures that we want to look up? Anything under the sea that?
Under the sea.
Dun, dun, dun,
Just
dun.
Google it. Sea myths. Sea creature myths.
Well, let's just see here. I mean, there's the sirens. There's Poseidon.
Sirens, though, is similar to a mermaid.
Right. You think that they were using their voices to
To
seduce men into the
Yeah.
water as well. Water deities. Ocean mysteries. Oh, duh, guys. We haven't looked up Atlantis.
that's real.
Was that?
Do you believe in King Triton?
Wait a second.
I saw Atlantis, the movie. They found the sunken city of Atlantis. It was a cartoon.
Atlantis is a fictional island mentioned in an allegory on the hubris of nations in Plato's works Timaeus and Critias, where it represents the antagonist naval power that besieges ancient Athens, the pseudo-historic embodiment of Plato's ideal state in the Republic. In the story, Athens repels the Atlantean attack unlike any other nation of the known world, supposedly bearing witness to the superiority of Plato's concept of a state. The story concludes with Atlantis falling out of favor with the deities and submerging into the Atlantic Ocean.
Sunken city
Right.
of Atlantis.
But-
No, it's not real.
But not real.
No, it's definitely not real.
Right? Is Atlantis real?
No. Let's found again.
Atlantis found again. This is from livescience.com
Okay.
in November of 2018. Atlantis found again, and exasperated scientists again raised their eyebrows.
That's
By
fake picture.
Laura Giggle. Nearly 2,400 years ago, the philosopher Plato described Atlantis as a mighty state that possessed 10,000 chariots, advanced technologies, a vast number of elephants and bulls, and a series of complex canals. And now, in a new documentary, a UK-based group claims to have discovered the ruins of this once flourishing city on what is now called the Atlantic coast of Spain. But one archaeologist said that the ruins likely belong to another ancient culture, and several researchers interviewed by Live Science could barely contain their exasperation when they heard the news of yet another Atlantis discovery. People have made dozens of such claims over the years, locating the legendary society in Antarctica, Bolivia, Turkey, Germany, Malta, the Caribbean, and elsewhere.
Yeah,
this city
okay.
is all over the world.
We was just in Half Moon Bay yesterday, and let's just say that city is on a cliff.
True.
Okay? That bitch could fall any day. It really felt like
So
it.
many
And then
cities
someone's gonna be like, that's Atlantis.
Have
You know what I
possibly
mean?
fallen into the sea.
Like millions of years from now, they're gonna be like, we found Atlantis. No, it's Half Moon Bay. I mean, cities are under there for sure, but do I think it's specifically Atlantis? No.
With their advanced technologies and their cows and stuff. It's debatable whether Atlantis even existed. Plato described the ancient society in about 360 BC, writing that, in effect, a politician named Critias heard about the society through the game of historic telephone dating back to ancient Egypt. Atlantis served as the perfect example of a society that had become corrupted by its material wealth, advanced technology, and military might. Then the gods destroyed Atlantis about 9,000 years ago in a cataclysmic event, Plato wrote.
Because this is also like mythology,
Atlantis
right?
sounds
Like
like
Greek
America.
mythology.
Well, Plato was a real guy. He was a philosopher.
Oh.
But he's just writing, he's
About
he's writing
stuff he
hypotheticals
heard
and theories
or
and stories and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to be a smarty pants.
It's not real. Atlantica is.
Atlantica from The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Adrena,
Oh,
Adela.
oh.
All right. Yeah. So Atlantis, not real. Plato wrote about a fictional place.
What is interesting to me, though, is that you could go on Reddit,
Yes.
and there's, like, at least, I'll say, at least 1,000 people in the world who 110% believe in all of these things
Right.
existing in our current society.
Yes. And they have all the
All
documentation.
the theories, all the documentation to prove that it's right. But, like, why?
Some people don't have a lot going on, and
Yeah.
and you kind of got to find something to put your attention into. I put my attention into this podcast, into our marriage, and into work, and into our families.
Not into mermaids, though.
And some people put their attention into mermaids.
I mean, I like mermaids, but not that much. Like,
They're starting blogs. They're going
they
out
out here on these
on
internets.
diving missions and whatnot.
I used to want to get like one of those photo shoots where you could go to the beach and you could borrow somebody's like mermaid tail fin, and then they'll like take photos of you for an hour, and you're like, I'm a mermaid. I actually
Like in the water and stuff like that?
still really want to do that, and I
Okay.
probably will one day because why not?
Yeah. I went on the Mermaids subreddit, and it's basically just a bunch of
Art.
people who are doing that exact thing that you're talking about. The fin folk. They got their fins, they get in their pools, and they just,
But do they believe it's real?
they hang out down there. They want it to be real,
Yeah, just like
Just
me.
like you.
Just like me.
Exactly. I'll get you one of those fins for your birthday.
Aww, thank you.
All right. I think that's going to be it for this episode. Unless there's any other creatures out there that we want to learn about. I think we did a pretty good job of debunking most of these myths out there. So if you were like Michelle and you fully believed,
I'm just
in
more
mermaids and
upset
whatnot,
that Animal Planet documentary was docufiction.
completely fake.
We've been talking about this for many years, and you never wanted to tell me that it was a docufiction.
So I didn't know. Like you had mentioned that documentary, and I had definitely seen something like that where there was like these scientists and they were explaining how mermaids are real, and then they had this footage of these mermaids. And
I'm gonna
and
rewatch
I
it now
remember
and be like, oh god, I'm such an idiot.
I remember it as seeming very fake, and so I never put any stock into it, even though I probably watched it on Animal Planet maybe the same year
It was
as
about
you.
like how the government was hiding the mermaids from us and stuff, and I was like, this
Yeah,
is real.
I just never bought it. Even as a kid, I was like, no.
Well, maybe you'll have to get another guest on here soon to talk about aliens now.
Yeah, the conspiracy series will continue, and we'll look into aliens. Aliens is like a little bit harder.
UFOs
You know?
and
I don't necessarily believe that any
being, what do they call when they take them up through the space? Abducted.
abductions and whatnot. Yeah,
Questionable.
questionable stories, questionable characters making those stories.
Mm-hmm.
A
true.
lot of meth heads get
So,
abducted by aliens. I
The
don't know how
moral
that
of the
keeps happening.
story is giant squids are real.
Giant squids are real,
That's about it.
and
Everything else is not.
the Loch Ness Monster is probably an eel.
And you know what? I 110% believe that, and this is true, that the majority of the ocean has been untapped and undiscovered.
That's true.
Because we do not have the technology really to get there.
Come on, James Cameron, hook it
So
up.
there might be millions of creatures down there that we don't know exist, and generations from now, when we're dead, we're gonna be like, whoa,
Whoa.
crazy.
Remember when we were alive, we know nothing about these fish.
Fun fact about me and Andre, we definitely went down a deep dive of like animal sea documentary watching
Yeah, we did.
like a couple months ago.
Watched it on
That was
dolphins and
legit.
Sharks and the coral reef.
The sea life to me is so amazing.
It's fascinating.
And untapped.
Yeah.
But these silly sea creatures, whatever.
Yeah.
Focus your time somewhere else.
That's right. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Andre Knows Everything. I think we learned quite a bit about fake sea life today, and hopefully you
And squids.
And squids, real squids. They're down there, hanging out, waiting to eat you and whatnot. If you want to keep up with me, you can follow me at Andre Morton Jr. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
No.
Okay.
The Walt Vault.
Yes, you can listen to us both on The Walt Vault, which is our Disney movie review podcast. Head to @The Walt Vault Pod to get all of our stuff there. That's been it for this time. Please subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the sea creatures and their myths, if you ever believed or if you still believe, even after listening to this entire
I'm a
episode.
believer. Then I saw her face.
Oh, I don't know if they say I believe.
I'm a believer.
There it is. All right. Thank you guys so much. I've been Andre Morton. I now know more today than I did yesterday. Bye.